There's a certain kind of person everyone trusts immediately. They agree easily, rarely complain, say it's fine, even when it isn't. People call them easygoing, low maintenance, the nice one. But ask that person how they actually feel on most days, and you'll hear something different. Tired, overlooked, quietly angry about things they never said out loud. Because being nice and being okay aren't the same thing. Sometimes the nicest person in the room isn't the kindest, they're the most afraid. And what looks like generosity from the outside can be something else entirely, a habit built to keep people from leaving, getting angry, or noticing them at all. Today, we're looking at what niceness actually costs the people who carry it, and why the trait that makes them so easy to love is often the same one quietly wearing them down. Nice is not kind. Most people use nice and kind as if they mean the same thing. They don't. Kindness is a choice. It can still say no. It can survive disagreement. Niceness in its unhealthy form comes from fear of conflict, of disappointing someone, of being seen as difficult. So instead of a real yes or a real no, you get a performance, a smile on command, an apology for something that wasn't your fault. From the outside, it looks like warmth. Underneath, it's management, managing how people see you, whether they stay, whether anyone gets upset with you. That's not generosity. That's a survival strategy wearing a friendly face. And like most survival strategies, it usually starts long before adulthood.
Where it gets learned. Nobody is born apologizing for taking up space. Sometimes it comes from a home where anger was unpredictable and staying agreeable was the safest move available. Sometimes from a parent who only felt warm toward you when you were easy, convenient, no trouble at all. Somewhere in there, a decision gets made, quietly, long before it's conscious. If I'm agreeable enough, no one will leave. No one will get angry. No one will stop needing me. It works for a while. People stay. Conflict stays small. But a strategy built for a child trying to stay safe doesn't just switch off once that child grows up and actually is safe. It becomes the way they move through every room for the rest of their life. The bill nobody sees. Every time you say yes when you mean no, something gets paid. Not loudly, not all at once, but your nervous system keeps a running total. That's why chronically nice people are exhausted in a way rest doesn't fix. It's not the socializing that drains them. It's the constant performance underneath it, the part of them editing every sentence before anyone else even responds. You can be surrounded by people who like you and still feel completely unseen, because the version of you they like isn't fully you. It's the version that was safe to show.
Where the anger goes. Here's what surprises people most. Niceness doesn't erase anger. It relocates it. You can suppress a no 1,000 times, but the feeling underneath doesn't disappear. It goes underground and waits. That's why so many nice people describe a resentment they can't quite explain. Irritation at people who did nothing wrong. Exhaustion that doesn't match the moment. It's not really about that one moment. It's the backlog. Every boundary that never got set, every "I'm fine" that was a lie told to keep the peace. Eventually, it leaks out sideways. A short tone, a sudden need to cancel plans, a quiet withdrawal nobody, including them, can fully explain. They're not becoming a worse person. They're running out of room to keep performing okay. Who it attracts. There's an uncomfortable pattern that shows up around chronically nice people. They tend to attract those who take, not because they're naive, because their conditioning has already done the work. They've pre-agreed not to push back. Someone who consistently overrides their own needs to keep others comfortable is, without meaning to, teaching everyone around them exactly how far they can go. Most people aren't intentionally cruel. If someone always says yes, always absorbs the inconvenience, very few people stop to ask whether that's sustainable. So the nice person ends up doing more, giving more, angry about it in private, smiling about it in public. Not because they don't see it, because naming it feels riskier than living with it. Losing your own signal. The longest running cost isn't any one relationship. It's slowly losing track of what you actually want. When your default for years has been adjust to whoever's in the room, you stop checking in with yourself first. Someone asks where you want to eat, and your mind goes blank. Not from indecision, but from years of practice putting your own preference last. That's the real danger hiding under too nice. It's not that you're overly generous, it's that somewhere along the way, you stopped being able to tell the difference between what you want and what keeps the peace. What changes? Setting a real boundary for the first time rarely feels like freedom right away. It feels like guilt. If your nervous system learned early that disagreement equals danger, your first honest no as an adult will set off old alarms, even in situations that are completely safe. That discomfort isn't proof you're doing something wrong, it's proof you're doing something new. Some relationships get uncomfortable when you stop overgiving because they were built on the version of you that never pushed back. That's not a loss, that's information. But the relationships that survive an honest no become something sturdier because the people around you are choosing the real version of you, not the curated one. Kindness can survive being told no. Niceness was never built to.
Conclusion. None of this means warmth is the problem. Being generous, easy to get along with, none of that is in question. What's in question is the version of niceness that costs you yourself. Built on fear instead of choice, liked but never fully known. Real kindness doesn't require disappearing. The people who can say no and still choose to be kind anyway, those are the ones actually being generous. Everyone else is just still trying to stay safe. If this sounded a little too familiar, that's worth sitting with. Not to fix overnight, just to notice. Because the goal was never to become less kind. It's to stop confusing kindness with disappearing. If this resonated, subscribe for more on the quieter patterns behind how people think, feel, and protect themselves without realizing it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.